Hello friend, today I will show you the coconut camp, which is considered to be the worst hell on earth. The place where the French and the American used to keep their prisoners during the Vietnam War. So over here you can see different form of torture. So the enemy, they would use hobnail boots to kick the prisoner body. Pretty painful. So it's a swoosh, but there's a metal on the bottom. See, during 1949 up until 1953, the Chinese, they were actually come here first. They running away through China. Their troops running away because the Chinese, they are losing the war. So when they came here, they actually built a military camp out of this land, out of this island. But eventually, the Chinese left. The French, they came in. The French came in, and they built the whole prison in this place. So the prison that the French built, they used it to keep the prisoners, the sinners who want to fight against them in Vietnam. And this is what the condition look like. You can see all the mannequins. Very tiny room. They have around 400 rooms, 400 cells in this whole prison area. And for each room, they could store around 50, 70 or even 100 of them. They pack everyone together into this tiny place. And so this is what happened. This is the demonstration. You can see that all of them look so weak and fragile. And a lot of them dies during their time. So 4,000 of them, actually 4,000 prisoners left their life in this place because their body couldn't bear the pain and the torture of the enemy. So this is terrifying, and a bit shocked. As you can see on my head, there was wires everywhere, and these are the piece of metal as well. So during the daytime, this could become like a sauna for them, you know. But with all the wounded in the body, imagine the pain that they experience. So guess what? What are we seeing here? This is the bathroom, you know. The bathroom, the toilet area. So the French, they built this coconut camp to keep the prison, to keep the revolutionaries. But then eventually they left. We win our independence from the French. However, we got in another war with the American. And during the American time, they took this prison and they made it become, they turned it into the whole new level. So from a prison, it's actually turned into the worst hell on earth. So from 1967 until 1973, the American, they were occupying Vietnam. They are staying in the southern region, and they used this island to keep all the communist soldiers who fought during that war. And there were around 32,000 of them. But if we count all the politicians as well, all the VIP, you know, then the number could went up to around 38 to 40,000 people. So this is, you know, the condition. Yeah, so this is the form of rebels actually. And you can see they are rebelling against the enemy. And basically they use this metal they beat it up on the crowd to create a loud sound. They knock on the crowd because the enemy actually they train the gun to fire right in the detention room. And I guess it's always make the super noisy sounds that a lot of them turn deaf after that. Somebody put a cigarette. Yeah, it's a very hot condition that they live. And well, 40,000 prisoners stay here, but 4,000 of them die. However, the rest, when they come back home, because in 1973, the American troops, they left our country. So the prisoners were set free, but when they came home, they got all kind of mental and physical disabilities, you know. There were only guards like this, protecting the place, make sure that nobody could escape. So this is the kitchen room, and very basic, you know, very basic. Their main diet would be stale rice and rotten fish during that time. But the guard would randomly choose the prisoners to cook. And this is what it looked like. We got a mannequin here. And this is the food that they have. The soldiers, the mannequin that you see, they look very Vietnamese, right? And actually they are the southern Vietnamese soldiers. They are guarding this place. So in a way, it's like Vietnamese people torturing Vietnamese people, because the country was divided into two, right? So we got the north following a communist government, and then we got the south following a Republican government. And that was the Civil War, where we did disgusting things to each other. So the well, I got this big well is for carrying water, but I'm not sure. And this is the fences, the wires. So there's no way that the prisoner could escape. A lot of them tried to do actually. In 1953 up until 1954, during the French colonial, 200 of them actually tried to run away from this prison. They actually dig a tunnel, but it didn't work. So they got shot, and 99 of them died. I will show you the tunnel in a couple of minutes. But right now, we are walking towards the tiger cage. So tiger cage is very horrifying as well. It's basically a very small cage full of wires that people use to keep the prisoners. For me, I got claustrophobic. So whenever I look at this, it's like a nightmare, you know. So let's come and take a look. There were two of them. There were this giant, there was that like metal box. The idea is very hot, right? And the soldier would cut through the body of the prisoners. So in the daytime, it could be burning their body, along with all the wound. So this is extremely painful. And then we got a tiger cage where a man was sent half naked here, and actually a lot of them dies. You know, they couldn't stand the heat, they couldn't stand the bleeding and the pain. So this is a mental and physical torture in every way. So why do we do it then? Well, for two reasons. First one is, if someone rebels, for the rebels, the one who want to escape, they will receive this form of torture. But also if someone want to, if someone hold a piece of information that the American want or the Southern government want, then they will receive this form of torture as well. Yeah, it's so crowded here, so I have to stop for a while. And right now I'm gonna show you different forms of torture that they have. So you can see here, well, if they don't give out the information, then they're kind of boring. And actually, they put the prisoner in a bag and then throw them into the boiling water. And over here, hammer, with a hammer and chisel, they chisel the prisoner patella. So they chisel into the bones of the prisoner. And well, this one is rods, stingray. Normally they use the stingray's tails actually as a rod, beating up the other guy. And this is one of the worst. Use the wood bars to chisel the prisoner teeth. So no teeth after this kind of torture. Everything is extremely painful. The two wooden bars, it's just keeping smaller and smaller, and they just keep squeezing, so it's cracking the bones of the chest and the ribs as well. This is what we call a procedure for entering the prison. So every newbie entering this place, they kind of get beat up as a ritual like that. So 45 different forms of tortures happen in this place, and it could be this kind of technique. We could get it all the way from the Middle Ages to the modern age. And the purpose is, well, people want to get the information out of the communists. A lot of them keep quiet though, because if they give the information, then the American will know where the hiding place there, and they may come and bomb it. So that was the reason behind this torture. So right now, I think it's time to explore the tunnels. Hang on. Room number 16. Okay, I'm gonna show you. This kind of torture as well. So tying the body together, right, and basically burning the prisoner penis actually. So this is what they said. Yeah. So it just keeps getting more and more intense from now on, So this is grilling. We grill the prisoners on the bell fires, along with a lot of beating as well. And this is basically forcing a person to overturn, to steps on, or how do you call this? Let's say to overturn the iron grill with the notches. And the one that you've seen before, but this is with the whole body, right? Tightening up the body and just keep squeezing. Let's see. The enemy clips the prisoners between the two boards and use the big pesos to beat on the board surface. Oh yeah, so this is not squeezing, but they're gonna beat the pesos on the boards. And this one's hammer, and then they're gonna drive the nails into the knees and the bones of the prisoners. So everything is pretty intense. So So right now we are going into the tunnels. So why was it a tunnel here then? Well, people dig this tunnel and they want to escape from this horrible place, but they fail actually. And you can see on the walls there's like hand palm of the prisoners. But they dig from the crowd, they dig all the way here. So it's very tiny like this, and it's so they will dig, they will start it from there. This is one of the cell, and normally at night when everybody go to sleep, they will secretly do that bit by bit, years by years. So it kind of remind me of the movies, the Shawshank Redemption. But there was no happy endings in this place. A lot of them dies, a lot of them got shot, and none of them could escape this hellish rump. So they're digging, and you see they use very simple tool, nothing special. And they divide it into team. So I think every day a different person in the cell would get into this tiny tunnel to dig. I don't know how long does it take, but it's a very, very long tunnel. This tunnel, I guess it will be around 500 meters long. So all the way from there, and just go on and on and on. So this is the condition that people have to went through. This is the reality before. Different form of torture, 45 different techniques of torture. People couldn't bear it. They were so painful, and they have the hope to get away from this place. But they got captured eventually, And imagine the pain it would be. There was bodies lies in here. They got shot. And when we walk by this place, it's horrifying. It's horrifying to experience. So let me show you this one, the mannequins trying to run away. And I know they made it here as well, Where they're gonna run? Maybe the silent soldiers, they know there was an escape plan all the time, but they keep it they want to see how far the prisoner can run. Well, I mean, if they made it, then they're gonna run towards this place. And surprisingly, there were no fences, so maybe they can run outside of the prison. But still, this is an isolated island, So on the island, they may have to hop on the boat and traveling all the way back to the city. I don't know how it works, but it's terrifying to see again. And walking by these tunnels, we can almost hear the voice spirit of the soldiers who passed away. So that was about it. And bye for now.